Episode, we're going to be going into the kitchen and we're going to be sowing some pepper seeds. Now, I know what you're saying. Girl, it's too late to be sowing pepper seeds. Maybe yes, and maybe no. It's going to be an experiment for me. Either way, we're sowing some seeds, we're getting started, and this is the first of many. So stay tuned. I've decided to go ahead on and start some pepper seeds. This year, my pepper seeds were struggling. I do have about 5 pepper plants out there. I can't recall all of them. One of them I do know is probably a Fresno and a fish pepper, but I'm not sure about the other 2. So I'm going to start some peppers. I was talking to a colleague and he loves to cook. And so he was sharing with me a recipe and he was talking to me about what kind of pepper I could use outside of jalapeno. And so it made me think, I want to go and sow some pepper seeds. It is September 11th today. And I felt like sowing some pepper seeds. So I've cut up some paper towels. These are paper towels that I've used just for drying my hands off in the kitchen, and I let it dry and I'm just reusing a paper towel. I'm not just taking a paper towel off of the roll and using it. So I have a bunch of peppers in my little pepper box here, and I'm going to go ahead on and write what pepper they are. And I'm trying to decide how I want to do that, because what I've found is that when you write on the paper, the water deteriorates the ink. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get some little labels and lay them hopefully on top of the paper. Hopefully they don't move around, because that would be bad. I'm going to put all the peppers in this gallon-sized bag because it's what I have available to me at the moment. I'm also reusing this gallon-sized bag. So let me get some labels and write down the peppers that I want to sow, and then we're going to get to sowing some pepper seeds. We're going to put these pepper seeds on the paper towel, wet the paper towel, put them inside the plastic bag, leave them on the counter. I have a grow station over there to my right where I put all the things that I'm starting. And I'm going to put them over there and keep an eye on them for about 14 days and see what happens. And then if they start germinating, they're going to go inside of a pot. I've got some pots I've pulled out. I just got to mix up some more soil. And then we'll start these seeds in some containers, outdoors, probably in the greenhouse. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this in the greenhouse outside, in the greenhouse in the garage, or if I want to leave them in the house over the winter. I really don't want to leave them inside the house over the winter. I don't want there to be any kind of gnats or anything like that. So I'm trying to work all this out as I am going through the process, but let's get started. So I've grabbed my labels and I have labeled a few peppers. Now, I have no idea if I have adequate space for these peppers. I will figure that out when I go outside, and I'll take a look at all the containers that I have, what I wanted to grow in them, because I have tags in those containers for peppers that were supposed to be in those containers. So I'll fill those containers up with the peppers in the spring, but I'm trying to get these to grow, and I have a lot on the table. I'm not going to grow these. I'm going to put those back in the box. But what I believe I have out there is Fresno, habanero, and I have a fish pepper, and I don't know what else is out there. But I do know that I recall seeing these. I thought I had a carnival bell pepper, but that does not seem to be a bell pepper. It hasn't put on fruit yet, so I don't really know. But we're going to start putting these on paper towel, and hopefully my tags don't get all disrupted. I'll figure it out. I don't know. I may need to put these in individual little bitty baggies. Um, I don't know. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants tonight, you all. As I mentioned, it's 9/11, and I don't know if you all lived in the United States and if you remember where you were 24 years ago. But I remember where I was. I lived here in South Texas, and I watched everything unfold on the TV. We were sent home from work. So today has been kind of a reflective kind of a day, and I felt like this was what I needed to do today, was to start some seeds. So this is the poblano, and it came in a little pouch inside of the packet, and it had 25 seeds in it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 of these seeds and I'm going to place them on the paper towel. And that is what I'm going to do for all of the seeds I'm going to start. I'm going to try to grow 4 plants. All of my peppers so far are in 5-gallon buckets, thereabouts. And so the buckets can only hold so much. I don't want to overpower the bucket, but I do want to fill it to the maximum. And usually a 5-gallon bucket should only hold 1 pepper. But my fish peppers have more than 1 in the pot, and it does relatively well. So I'm just going to just go with it. No rhyme or reason. We'll see if it all works out in the wash. So I am just going to do this and keep going. Actually, I'm going to do one more live. And again, that was the Ancho Poblano. This is the purple cayenne. I need cayenne so bad. I really wanted cayenne in the house this year, but I didn't get any. And I don't have, but it was supposed to be 25 seeds. I'll have to grow this again if these seeds don't germinate. I mean, buy this again if the seeds don't germinate, because I don't have very many more seeds in here. And I'm disappointed. I don't want to buy any more. And these pepper seeds are a lot smaller than the poblano seeds. But let's fold this paper towel in half so that I can know where to put the seed. And once I do this, I'm going to speed this up because you all have seen me do this once before. And for those who are not sure why I'm doing this, what I'm doing is I am pre-germinating this seed. I could put the seed in soil, but what I found is, because peppers kind of take their sweet time in growing, you don't want to waste your time, or maybe for you it's not a waste, but for me it is. I don't want to waste my time putting a pepper seed that's not viable in soil, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And since we are at the end of September, I don't really want to put these outside just in case, because peppers don't like cold weather. So I will need to protect these, and I think they're going to go either in the black greenhouse outside, which is unheated. I do have 5-gallon buckets in there that's lining the entire uh, base of the greenhouse up under the tables. All up under the both sides are all 5-gallon buckets full of water. And I keep that in there so that it can warm up a little bit the greenhouse during the winter. Outside of that, it is not heated. I do have a heater for in there, but I haven't wanted to run the extension cord in order to heat the area. So these will probably go in the garage greenhouse because I do have heating mats, and hopefully they can survive and live until spring. We shall see. But this is the giant Marconi, and I said the last one would be the last one, but this will be the last one that I take you real time, and then I will speed this up. I've already planted the Ancho Poblano, the purple cayenne. And so now this is the giant Marconi, and this is a sweet pepper. And again, 4 seeds. And for those who missed it, I am pre-germinating seeds. That is why I am doing this. I want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time. And if a seed is not viable, I can start another seed. But I want all of these peppers in the garden in the springtime. So let's speed this up because I have a lot more peppers to get through. I've got about what, 3, 6, I've got about 7 more peppers to get through. And I think that's all out of my container that I'm going to actually try to grow, because I do have some peppers in the garden. I'm not going to grow the peppers that my girlfriend gave me, the big Thai hybrid, or the orange sun pepper, or the sunbright sweet pepper, because I want to grow the purple beauty bell pepper, the peppercini, and the there was another one, the banana pepper. And I will use those for fermenting and for stuffing versus having a bunch of bell peppers. Bell peppers, in my experience, just don't put on a lot of fruit. And I want to maximize my space with plants that will give me a significant amount of fruit. And if I can only get a couple of bell peppers, I don't want to waste the real estate by growing multiple bell pepper plants when they're only going to give me a couple of bell peppers. And my bell peppers have been kind of small-ish because I don't grow them in the ground. I think if they grew in the ground, they'd be a lot bigger, but I have a lot of challenges in my garden, so growing a lot of stuff in the ground just does not suit for me. So let me speed this up and finish off these peppers. I have all of my peppers put on paper towel, and I hope I'm not making a mistake. I already had one rogue seed, but it was a tiny seed, so my thought was that it was a cayenne. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them off of here like so, and I'm going to put a little bit of water in this bag and then place the seeds. I don't have a spray bottle inside the house where I could spray them down. Yeah, I don't have a spray bottle in the house, and I don't want to go trying to figure out where one is. So I'm just going to put some water in here and swish it around and get the inside of the bag moist, and then we'll see how we go from there. I have a little bit of water in the bag. I'm moistening the bag. So what I'm going to attempt to do is place my seeds along with the tag on the bag, not jostle them around to the point to where I lose my tags, because that would be bad. But what I could do, let's see, I do it like this and put that inside of there. That way it's less likely to move around. And they're getting moist already, so I'm going to do it like this so it doesn't come out or move around. I do not want my tags to get mixed up, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know what pepper this is. I mean, I would find out in the end once the pepper began to make fruit, but that's no fun. Not knowing exactly what you got going on there. So I am just sticking the label inside of that fold and laying them flat in the bag. And I hope you all can see what I'm doing. I hope that my body is not in the way. Sometimes that happens. So I'm just laying them down, trying to keep everything straight. Shift them down just a little bit so I can get 3 rows. There we go. They're cooking with Crisco now, baby. And I am hoping that I get more peppers in the garden. One of my colleagues, he works in a different department, came down today, and I asked him how his new garden was going because he's excited about growing food like most people are when they're growing food. And he wanted to show me his cucumbers and his new baby pepper starts, and how he is going to bring me some spicy pickles that he made on Monday. So exciting. So what I'm going to attempt to do is kind of like move this so that the paper towels get some water on them. It looks like I may have a hole in my bag because now the countertop is wet, so that didn't work. So I'm going to have to find a spray bottle. I don't know where one is. I have a spray bottle in the greenhouse outside, but it's very dark outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put a little water in the bag. So I've got the water on the paper towel. They're not sopping wet, but I do have some moisture on the paper towel. So I'm going to gingerly pick this up and put this on my other cabinet, and I'm going to keep an eye on it and make sure that it stays moist. And in the meantime, I'll look for my spray bottle tomorrow so that I can mist inside of the bag, and I will see if these are going to germinate for me because I would really love some peppers. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with them as far as, do they go in the black greenhouse outside? Do they go in the green greenhouse in the garage? Either way, they're going to go in one of the garages, but I want to overwinter them. We still have time. Like I said, it's September 11th, but peppers grow very slowly, so I won't get a harvest off of these, but I do want to have established plants to put out in the garden in spring. And I could be overshooting this, but I'd rather have a large plant in the house that I can put out in spring than no plant at all, which is what I had this year. So I'm going to put this over here on the cabinet, and then we'll chat. Seeds inside the plastic bag, and I will need to find a spritzer bottle so I can keep them misted. So this is where we're starting for my fall garden. This might be a failed experiment, but I don't think so. So I want to say thank you for joining me in the kitchen. I hope you liked this experiment. If you did, give me that thumbs up. Leave me a comment, share the video. If you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Sow some seeds, y'all. Bye for now.